Pycube and EMC. My name is Wes Christensen. I am a technical account manager at Pycube, and today we will briefly discuss the VPLEX technology and review some of its use cases. Users' demand continue to evolve. With the advent of ever more mobile devices and ways for your users and customers to access business information, demands for continuous availability of applications has never been higher, and that need continues to grow. To provide continuous availability for your applications, your availability of the underlying data is key. And to achieve that, your infrastructure needs to be built to provide superior flexibility, mobility, and availability. The loss of processing capability can have disastrous consequences for the organization. As a result, organizations are implementing systems and infrastructure that allow them to maximize system uptime. And this capability is being enabled to an even greater extent by cloud and clustering solutions such as high availability computer clustering technologies. Availability is key, and the question becomes, what is the cost of data loss and downtime? What is the business's tolerance? Minutes, hours, days? How expensive would that be in terms of lost transactions, lost productivity, or lost revenue? It's difficult to know the exact value for your data, but we found some recent statistics that may surprise you. According to an Enterprise Management Associates study in 2012, outages in U.S.-based data centers cost on average $45,000 per hour. That extrapolates to $750 for every minute and over $1 million per day. Of course, this is just an average, and use cases will vary. The source of this comes from a number of areas, including lost revenue, the salaries of employees who may be sitting idle without access to the systems they need to do their job, the IT costs associated with finding and resolving the issues, to the possible penalties and fines paid for lack of government or regulatory compliance. The key point is that there is an economic impact associated with downtime, and the costs are tangible. Significant downtime can also impact the reputation of the business, something you can't put a price on and can be very costly to repair. Let's consider an example of how VPLEX provides enhanced availability. Traditionally, in the case of a major disaster where you might lose an entire site, there would be a number of activities required to bring your applications back online. First, you would need to transfer data to the new site. Sometimes this might have already been done with a cold site and a replicated copy of the data, but what is the RPO? How much data would you lose? Oftentimes, you would require a restore from backup media, which will probably still result in significant data loss and a long ago RPO. Once data is restored, you can then recover and reinstall the applications. This requires significant remediation and a lot of rebooting and reconfiguration. Not to mention that this is a manual process requiring a lot of IT staff work or expensive professional services engagement to complete. Finally, after weeks or longer, you've got everything back online, but eventually you will probably need to fail back to the primary site to restore processing. And at some point during this process, the question will come up, is restoring to the secondary site even worth it? Maybe the primary site can be recovered in less time than it takes to restore. Many organizations build a DR site and replicate data to it, but when a primary data site fails due to a power outage or other cause, are often reluctant to invoke failover to their DR site. Why? The most often reason cited is lack of trust in the DR site functioning properly. This can be due to lack of testing of the DR site or performance concerns about performance. DR sites are sometimes populated with old infrastructure retired from the primary data center. There is concern about failing back to the primary data center once the outage is remedied. Tech refreshes are possibly one of the most painful parts of the IT department's normal operations, both for the IT staff and for the company at large. This is made worse by the frequency with which they seem to occur. Though rarer, a data center relocation is a lot like a tech refresh, with the added complexity of being between two sites and requiring relocation of multiple arrays simultaneously. Because of that, a traditional data center move can be a dangerous and painful process. The downtime, stress on the staff, and impact on the users, as well as the cost and risk that result from this activity, can be quite daunting. New equipment, as in arrays, network, and computers, have to be brought to the new site. new networks are set up, new compute resources are set up, new arrays are set up and provisioned, remediation of equipment in preparation for applications, new applications are installed, application data is restored from old site to new site, which could take days, and there's no easy way to back out at this point. Applications are brought online, and then troubleshooting begins. VPLEX provides a way to quickly and efficiently and safely relocate. Another traditional maintenance activity that can bring down your applications is rebalancing of your workloads. This is typically a complex balancing act of too much demand or too few resources, resulting in complex planning. It often takes time to implement changes because of coordinating downtime, potentially remediating applications on new hardware and testing changes. And of course, it is disruptive to your applications as you shut down applications in order to move them to their new home. But VPLEX can alleviate these problems by leveraging the mobility of distributed virtual volumes to non-disruptively move workloads to new arrays. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. For more information on VPLEX or to request an introductory meeting with one of our consultants, please contact us using the information shown here. Thank you.